That was good though. Huh? Yeah, it does. It echoed in here. Yeah. Sorry about it. I didn't know we even had this room. So, but it was a good spring game, I guess. It's got a little bit lopsided, and um, Wednesday we went ones versus ones, and it was very physical, and we had a good day. Sometimes you wonder if you should come right back and do that again. I chose to go ones versus twos. I did think we got a lot out of it, particularly throwing the ball with Lamar and executing the passing game. Defensively, our defensive line kind of dominated the two offensive line, made it hard to move the ball with the wide offense. I thought Malin had one good run there, and also Jeremy Smith had a really good run with the wide offense. But other than that, there wasn't much room out there to do a whole lot, which is what you want. You want the number one defense to go 3 and out the majority of the time. You always worry about these games that the number one defense gets enough reps, so that's why we would start over sometimes with 1st and 10 over, just to try to even out the reps and get them enough work. But overall, I was happy with spring ball. I think there's no question we can throw the ball better right now than we could last year during the season. I like the way our receivers are running routes and catching the ball, and we look fast. And I think that's I like Lonnie Galloway's doing a really good job of coaching them and coming off the ball. Our get off is much better than it was. And it's good to get a lot of guys involved, a lot of touches, and we got some pretty good weapons, so that was pretty fun. I thought Josh Harvey Clemens played really well today. As you're over there trying to call plays for the wide offense, he's a hard guy to get open with, get open on, and then he makes the tackles when you try to run at him. So, and then I also thought Stacy Thomas did a really nice job. That was one of the things you could, when you're calling the plays for the white, you could stand back behind, and Stacy Thomas played really fast, really physical, and he can cover. So his ability to replace James Burgess is something that's really important to us, and he shows all the skills that he'll be able to do that. But with that, I'll just open up for questions.
Bobby, with the numbers that Lamar put up today, do you pay much attention to the numbers or just how he went about them?
I don't even know what the numbers are. So
video game numbers. I think he
really,
had like 8 or 9 touchdowns and over 500 yards.
Yeah, it was. He had a lot of open guys and he had a lot of time. But what I liked is decision making. I wanted to make sure I got off the field. And most of the time in the spring game, I stay out on the field with the one offense. But I wanted to get off the field and let him handle everything out there, and then try to see if he's predictable of where he's going to go on his progression. And he was. There was a couple times he was a little bit late with the ball, but he was going through his progression and doing what we thought he would, what the play was called to do, I guess is how to say it. But yeah, I mean, you just kind of grade him on decision and execution. There's a couple of those touchdowns the ball was a little bit late. We probably wouldn't have had that much time.
Was that accuracy from Lamar today? Is that something that's been going on all spring?
Yeah, it really has. And the whole thing that was good about him today was fun to watch was his demeanor in the walkthrough today, his demeanor in warming up before the game, how he handled himself in the locker room. Because he was really going through the process of getting ready to play, and that's one of the things I probably haven't talked enough about is his leadership qualities have really grown and really stood out this spring. I know they have to his teammates.
He made one early that before it got to them, I think he overthrew it. He almost looked at you like, "It's my fault." Is that maybe a growth process too of him knowing his mistakes before you even have to yell at him or tell him?
I mean, that's one of the things you try to teach all of our guys is we call it take the arrow in the forehead, is that when you make a mistake that you're able to, hey, that was on me, that was my fault, as opposed to saying, Rocco, he's the one that got the room wrong. You try not to do that. He says, my fault, I'm sorry, guys, about the room. But no, that's you'd like to see him grow up that way and, understand and be on the same page. As we're on the sideline.
The times are worried a little bit about the demeanor. What specifically did you see that you liked?
he was really getting himself ready for the game. You know, in warm-ups, he was concentrating on his follow-through, his accuracy. I like the energy that he gave to the receivers when they came out and took the field. You could see that he was ready to compete, and he's a great competitor, so he likes competing.
The times where he did take off, were those good decisions on the whole?
I don't remember those a lot because I'm looking to blow the whistle. So I'd have to go back and watch the video. You know, I know the one time where we blew it up, the very first drive, he probably scores on that one. But you know, we made a decision this spring that he got enough running in last year and got hit that we didn't need to do that, and we wanted to put more pressure on him to throw the ball than to run.
What kind of a weapon is it that can throw a 60-yard pass, you know, and kind of not have to even put a ton of arch on it, just as far as the kind of vertical passing game you can have?
Well, what you want to see happen is our ability to really run the football, and then take our shots down the field, you know, our play action game, and be good with the shots down the field. So it helps get our offense back where we want it, you know, to be able to power run the football, throw the ball deep down the field. So we were working hard on that all spring, and he certainly has the arm strength, and his timing continues to get better. And I think right now as a receiver, the thing that's good is the receiver sees the coverage, the quarterback sees the coverage, and they both have an idea, hey, I got a chance for a touchdown right here. So the ability for the receivers and the quarterbacks to be on the same page is what shows in being more experienced.
What was the decision to put Shaq on the white team and Sayer on the red team?
Shaq hasn't been in much of the scrimmage work, so he needed to work with the twos.
Robbie, does Lamar ever take you back with some of the throws that he can make? Do you ever be like, whoa, I didn't know he had that?
He's standing back there, so I don't know if I want to say, but yeah. I mean, the thing that he can really throw it. We knew that from when he came here in August. You know, there were times when we said, whoa, we got something here, you know. He's got great arm strength, great wrist snap. We just got to continue to work on our timing. He certainly can throw the deep ball, and he improved on it all spring. You know, I think that's another thing that really showed up. And another thing with Coach Galloway was let's throw the ball deep in routes and get better at throwing it deep down the field, which really helps being out on the practice fields because then you got more room to practice those things.
Talk about weapons. What kind of weapon can Cole be? And we saw a little bit of it today with the way he can catch it and get downfield.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great weapon. He's got really good routes, tremendous hands. You know, Cole controls his body so well, his ability to get in and out of breaks without slowing down and make adjustments to the ball in the air. I liked the way he ran after the catch today, too. He made some great yards after the catch.
What do you think of the running backs?
I think they're doing a good job. I think they've had a good spring. You know, I think Brandon's really improved in the areas he's needed to, which is catching the ball and pass protecting. You know, he wants more carries, and you know, late in the game today, I just said, hey, you've had enough. You know, and LJ's had a really good spring. I think we've learned a lot about his ability to run with the football and get on what Coach K calls the wall, hug the wall, and he's improved on that. And I know that he watches the video and sees it himself. He's a really good pass protector, so he's going to be in there a lot on third down, and he's got great hands. So I think he's a good weapon. And then every scrimmage we've had, Jeremy comes up with the longest run. You know, he's got big hips and guys bounce off of him. He's also done a really nice job throughout the entire spring of protecting the quarterback. He's big and a physical guy.
It seems like the front 7 or 8 on your ones did a good job of flying to the ball and stopping the run today. Were you impressed with that unit?
I was, yeah. You know, I thought that Drew Bailey really came off the ball and created some havoc in the backfield. Certainly was dominating the line of scrimmage. The defensive ends were really active, read and run and pass and getting to the run. And then, you know, Kelsey and Stacy, I thought, did a really nice job. It's good to see Chucky's progression because he's really doing a nice job of reading pass or run and then doing his responsibility. And I think they've really improved in that aspect, our safeties of run, pass, get to run.
With LJ and Brandon both had some nice runs between the tackles today. Is that more of a result of them just being more explosive, or how much of that is a testament to the offensive line improvement?
Yeah, both. It's both, and and going against the twos, we had some more room in there with our movement by the offensive front. But both of them have done a nice job of accelerating and making plays.
Is Evan O'Hara the top kicker at this point?
He came out of the competition leading up to the spring game as the number one guy. Now Blanton didn't get to kick a lot this spring. Unfortunately, he thought he was a basketball player and broke his ankle in the off season, and hasn't had a lot of reps kicking. He was doing a really nice job at the end of fall last year, and we were really encouraged with him. So he's certainly going to get some reps when we start camp to see if he's the guy or not.
Bobby, sorry.
Go ahead.
The spring game also, when it comes to recruiting, obviously seems like a big weekend for you guys every year. Just how big is it in the grand scheme of when you guys get to?
Yeah, it gives us another chance to get players here on campus, and we had a good group in today, so I'm excited about the way our recruiting's going.
I just think of various ways that Reggie was used today and the long touchdown that he had.
Yeah, Reggie's had a good spring. He was actually tweaked his hamstring just a little bit, so he missed some reps Wednesday practice. But I thought he looked good today. He's getting where he's got great hands. He's getting quicker on his routes. I like the size and length he has inside, and so he can give us a lot of different things we can do with him.
Do you expect first day of fall camp that he's a receiver? I guess is that what you?
Yeah, we're a receiver that can run with the ball. That sounds like a good title.
As you design plays, how do you balance the depth of your routes with what you can expect from pass protection?
Yeah, we challenge the offensive line to understand, what routes are being called. They know they need to block forever on some of them, some of the deep ones down the field. We'll still mix it up with our quick passing game and moving the quarterback's launch point to help them at times too. But all spring long, we've been really challenging the offensive line to understand that we're throwing the ball deep. We need more time.
Is there a temptation or a point of diminishing returns there where you think, maybe I'm pushing it too far, 60 yards, 65 yards, that sort of thing?
Yeah, there's a few of those weren't really designed to go that deep. A couple of them we were a little bit late on, but it did show his ability to snap his wrist and throw it that deep. But I thought there was two of them that we probably needed to get out a little bit quicker.
Redmond, Regron, LaFours, there are a lot of quarterback talent out there. What's it mean to you to have so many alumni come back?
Oh, it was awesome. It's great to see them. I saw a number of them yesterday and some on Thursday night. We had a reception for the golf tournament on Thursday night, and so we had a number of guys back for that. But it's always great to see them come back, and, it was good to see Regron. I haven't seen Dave for a long time, and, I got to go up and recruit him out of Cleveland. And then he was our red shirt for Redmond, but I haven't seen him for a while, so it was really good to see him.
Talk about the whole weekend as a whole and yesterday.
I'm worn out. It was a long week, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to having a reception on Thursday and the whole day of golf tournament. I didn't get to swing the club, but that's probably a good thing, But I did have a lot of fun. My daughter hit a hole-in-one, so that was pretty cool. But it was a really good weekend. I'm proud of my wife Becky and my daughter Kelsey. They had the golf tournament exclusively, and I think it was very, very successful. I'm very happy with the way people are supporting us and supporting the foundation and giving a lot of time and effort to it.
Expectations are probably going to be pretty high for this team. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I like high expectations. Yeah, why not? Let's go for it, I don't think there's anything wrong with having high expectations. I guess that's why it was good to get that contract done. All right, thanks a lot.